What's up, everybody? Rob here, back with another episode of Wasting Wildcards. I apologize for kind of my delay in videos here, but I kind of got on a super long roll of doing very well in Limited, and I don't really make Limited videos, so I was just kind of playing a lot of Limited. And because of that, I got a lot of wildcards. I got a lot of new cards, so that's pretty sweet. And with some of those new wildcards, I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to play a General Kudro of Drannith deck. And he tends to lend himself to a humans deck, obviously. And since I didn't have like 30 wild cards to burn and do like full Esper humans, which I've seen some people do, I was thinking, let's just do Orzhov. I mean, Orzhov is for the human tribe in Historic. By the way, we're playing Historic. You can tell by the Thoughtseizes. I just figured Orzhov was kind of the clear first choice for a two-color humans deck, mainly because of the General, but also because you got the General's Enforcer, who makes both your Thalia and Generals indestructible, which is really good against aggro and just other stuff to keep it alive from sweepers. It's a pretty good card here, and the two cards you want to keep alive are pretty much Thalia and the General, so it does a lot of work there. Also, of course, we get Thoughtseize, which is just all around good. If you can play Thoughtseize, you probably should. Also, we can play Dire Tactics without the downside. Now, Dire Tactics is a super powerful removal spell. Just straight up exile target creature. And with all these humans in this deck, basically that's it. You're never going to get the downside unless the only creature you have on the battlefield is like a Tithe Taker spirit token, or we just don't have creatures at all. And in that case, you probably still want to kill whatever your Dire Tactics sing. I don't think that's a word, but I made it a word. Other than that, the supporting players in the deck, we've got 4 Dauntless Bodyguards as a 2/1 1-drop, so it gets in early if we need to, but also just another way to kind of keep our more powerful like 3-drops and stuff alive. We have Thalia, obviously. We're playing 3, not 4. It is legendary. I didn't want to get greedy. Also, I don't think I have 4. But yeah, so we got 3 of those. We've got 4 Tithe Takers, just kind of another annoying creature for people to play against. And it's a 2/1, and it leaves a body behind. So overall, really good role player. Very good against Settle the Wreckage. Makes it really annoying for my opponent. And counter spells. We've also got 4 Kitesail Freebooters to kind of go along with our Thoughtseize as our hand disruption package. This card is really crucial against things like control and decks with a lot of removal. Let's see, I already talked about the Enforcer. I didn't mention that we can exile stuff from graveyards with it. So against Uro decks and stuff like that, it's going to be very good. And then in the 3-drop slot, we've got Militia Bugler, which can basically find almost every card in this deck with the exception of Benalish Marshal and the General himself. But all of these 2-drops we can scoop up with Militia Bugler. Also, you can scoop up another Militia Bugler. What else do we got in here? We've got 1 Icon of Ancestry as just kind of a late game value engine, but also kind of another Lord effect. I don't know if I just want 1 or if I want 2. I might want 2, but I only had 1 and I didn't know if I wanted more, so kind of did that. We've also got 1 Agadeem's Awakening and 2 Emeria's Call. Both are surprisingly good in this deck if you cast them as spells or lands. I mean, we have a lot of random different costed creatures, so bringing them back would be very helpful. Also, Emeria's Call, giving our creatures indestructible and making angels. I mean, we're a creature deck. Indestructible is good, so obviously we're going to do it. Other than that, we just got kind of your standard Orzhov mana base. It's not perfect. I don't have all of the Orzhov pathways yet. I don't know if Shefet Dunes is necessarily what I want, but kind of having an Anthem effect on the land seems good. And yeah, so I also don't have a sideboard built. This is just a experimental best of 1 build right now. Just trying to see if there's anything to it. And I think there's going to be. I mean, we've got powerful cards, we've got disruption, and we have a clock. So let's take it to the ladder and see if it actually does have any legs. What is up, everybody? I think we've got ourselves a keeper here. We got a 1-drop, a 2-drop, and a 3-drop, and 3 lands. Pretty good hand. Also, we got a Dire Tactics, so we got removal too. Totally a keep. Our opponent not playing a companion, so we have literally no information about them. It looks like they mulliganed, which is nice for us. Hasten. Hazen. Who knows? It's a mystery. Let's start by playing our Dauntless Bodyguard. Keeps nothing alive, which is annoying, but, you know, I start attacking for 2 on turn 2. And my opponent's playing a green mana source. Let's take a peek at their hand, see what they're doing here. All right, so we are up against Gruul aggro. I will gladly take one of those Embercleaves out of their hand. And we're actually in a pretty okay spot against Gruul. We've got the dire tactics to eliminate any problematic creature. I think I'll probably let Gallia stay alive for a while. Ooh, they do not have red mana source. That stinks for them. Let's go Thalia, and let's play Dauntless Bodyguard. We'll protect Thalia. First Striker's good here. Also, it makes their Embercleaves more expensive. Not that they're going to be casting an Embercleave anytime soon, but yeah. So looks like they might have to throw the Mammoth down here for their 3rd mana source, which is probably going to seal the game for us if that is what happens. We're attacking for 7 next turn, and okay, that was very quick. Wasn't exactly a game of Magic per se, but I kind of got to Goldfish there, and that was a pretty good-looking couple turns, if I do say so myself. So let's play another game. All right, everybody, here we are with game number 2 in another pretty awesome opening hand. We've got Godless Shrine into Isolated Chapel. We've got 1 drop into 2 drops. I'm thinking this is pretty good. So let's start with the Dauntless Bodyguard, pass the turn here. Most likely I'm going to go Tithe Taker on turn 2, especially against a blue deck. Yeah, we're doing that. I will gladly trade here just because, yeah, anything I can keep off the board from my opponent's side, I'm going to want to do. So if this is mono blue tempo, I think we've got a very good mono blue tempo hand, especially considering I can do this. And their counter spells are going to be very expensive. Let's play another Dauntless Bodyguard, protect one of the Tithe Takers, and okay. All right, another very quick game. Tithe Taker, really good against mono blue tempo. I knew that going into this, and we got to see it play out. So game number 3, this is the fastest 2 games I've ever played. Maybe we'll have an interactive game in here. All right, game number 3. We've got 3 lands here. We've got a good curve of creatures. I'm going to keep this for sure. Start with this tapped, and I'm really liking this deck so far. Okay, so we're up against mono red. Against mono red, maybe we start with the 2/3 just because it's the best blocker we have, and it'll take an expensive removal spell or multiples to get rid of. Okay, not your traditional mono red deck. Let's see here. Could Kitesail Freebooter, get a look at my opponent's hand, or play the Tithe Taker and make it annoying. Or I could just Bugler and get more stuff, but I kind of want to see what's going on in my opponent's hand. Okay, interesting. So this is like a prowess deck. I guess I want to get rid of the Warlord's Fury just so they can't dig that deep. And no sense in attacking because they can just block here for days. Yep. Okay, so it's a prowess deck. That's a pretty fun little interaction there. 3/4 first strike is the real deal. No blocks. All right, so let's Militia Bugler here. We really want a Thalia is what we want. My opponent lets me search here. All right, well, another Militia Bugler could be worse, I guess. I'm not playing Agadeems here just because I might want to just cast Agadeem's Awakening. So they got a lot of cards in hand that we don't know about. 2 of their cantrips are gone. There's another one. That one works very well with Dreadhorde Arcanist. A source you control would deal non-combat damage to a thing. Guess I probably want to keep my health total up a little bit here. Don't need the Bugler, of course. That's what I want. Let's actually start with Tithe Taker. That way if they do anything on my turn, it's going to cost them a lot. All right. Just keep attacking here. And I'm actually going to play the Agadeem's Awakening now. It would be very expensive to do anything, and I doubt they're playing sweepers. I'd probably just be getting like 1 creature back, and seems like things would be better spent if I can cast more things. All right, so they're God's Willinging. Yeah, it's a lot of damage. All right, well, no shortage of Militia Buglers, I'll tell you that much. I'll take another Tithe Taker. Those are quite good. Yeah, I'll attack with Thalia because they can't do anything about it. Maybe I want to keep him back just in case they go crazy with God's Willings again. Man, I can't speak. There's a lot of interesting sounding things in this. All right, so it's getting pretty close here, and my opponent can probably do some crazy stuff. I feel okay because we do have Thalia here, which is going to make a lot of their stuff more expensive. Okay, interesting. Seems like money would have been, or mana would have been better spent killing Thalia here. Huh. Okay. We just 2, 6, 7. They go to 1. Let's bugle here. Get another Tithe Taker. Leave the Thalia back just in case the first strike is relevant, which I doubt it will be, but it's a really close game. I don't feel confident because my opponent has a whole grip full of spells here, and unless they're super unlucky and that's all land, but... Okay, so they're running Reckless Rages. I wonder if this is a Feather deck and they just never drew Feather. Okay, Indestructible. I feel like my opponent could have played this a little differently. I'm gonna block everywhere just in case they have like a shock or something. I don't want to let 2 points of damage through and lose because of a shock. That would feel very bad. Okay. All right. I feel like if my opponent got rid of this Thalia, with one of those Reckless Rages, they could have drawn a lot more cards and could have easily found a solution to that. But I'm not going to complain. I mean, ooh, man. Historic is so close to having a Death and Taxes deck. It's so close. I guess like the Esper builds with Meddling Mage and stuff like that are pretty close to it. It's also just pretty close to like a Modern Humans deck. You're missing the like early 1-drops and stuff like that that are like the powerful spells, but a lot of the good disruptive human spells we pretty much have. I mean, there's no like Noble Hierarch to kind of ramp you a little bit. There's no Ether Vial. There is Collected Company, so you could kind of go that route. All right, so this is the first time we're on the draw and the first kind of bleh hand here. We don't have a black mana source. But I mean, we have a turn 2 Tithe Taker. If we draw into any land, we could play something. Let's keep it. We'll start with a tapped Emeria's Call, and hopefully we draw into a black source of mana. All right, looks like we're up against another Gruul thing. All right, actually, let's just play Bodyguard here. This gives us a blocker. We'll be able to trade with the Pellet Collector pretty much no matter what they play here. I will gladly trade my Bodyguard for a Pellet Collector. Yep. Burning Tree into the 3/3 or something would be pretty bad, actually. I forgot Burning Tree was unsuspended. It's taken off the bench. That'll do it. All right, can't block that combination. Pretty good. Pretty good. No blocks. All right, well, this hurts. Really need to draw into that black source of mana here. Just so we can either kill something with Dire Tactics or at least just play one of these spells. Benalish Marshal and the General will be nice. Pump up my team to block any of these things successfully. I think best case scenario is my opponent doesn't have a third land. They are thinking here, so it is possible. So I'm going to double block the Pellet Collector. These will die, but I'm going to get a Spirit, so I'll have another blocker next turn. I think my best chance of survival here is to just kind of survive a little bit. Okay, Scavenging Ooze is going to be annoying. There's our black source, which is great. So this would actually do 2 damage to us. Let's play General. We can exile the Pellet Collector. Gives the Scavenging Ooze a little less food. Unfortunately, they can eat both of the things in our graveyard. Embercleave is online if they attack with everything. This is going to be a very close one. There's a couple situations where they can definitely kill us this turn. If not, next turn we're going to have to... Gross. That's pretty gross. We're going to be a pretty low life total next turn. We're going to want to block the Scavenging Ooze just because that's going to be the biggest threat, especially if they eat something. Hooey, great. A painful land. I think we're just dead. Yep, I think we're just dead. All right, didn't get there on the Gruul aggro matchup, but we also kept a pretty shitty hand, so that's probably on me. I've learned my lesson. We're not going to let it happen again. Let's do another one. At least that was a real game. The last 2 games were real games, so I feel okay about that. All right, here we are with game 5. I lose track very quickly in best of 1 because you play a lot of games. This is a pretty good little hand of stuff here. I'm going to keep this. It's kind of an awkward, isolated chapel. Never mind. That is much less awkward. So I'm going to start playing the Pathway on white, playing the Bodyguard. Kind of nervous with this Ruined Crabby here. We're up against blue-green Landfall Mill or something like that. Definitely going to want to get that crab off the battlefield pretty soon. Let's go Swamp, take a look at their hand. All right, I thought they were going to counter it, and I would have been pretty upset about that. All right, so it looks like it's straight Simic. So much value. All right. That gives us zero helpful information. Of course, they're playing Uro. All right, yeah. They're going to get an Uro trigger. They're going to mill me a lot this turn. Well, I mean, if we get a general, we'll be able to scoop up their Uro, which is nice. So much value, so much value. Just mill me, just do it. Come on. It's a bummer we can't find the general with the bugler, because we could really use the general. They haven't milled any yet, though. So they got one more activation from that Fabled Passage. You got 3 in the deck. Let's hope we don't mill it. I wish you could just ignore, be like, ignore my ability. I have nothing to... All right. We're still good on the generals. Ooh! You love it. You love to see it. Let's go. Goodbye, Uro. That's a nice little... Ooh, that feels good. Beating down through the crab. Things turned around very quickly for us there, and I am feeling good about it. Next turn, we can play a Marshal. Start really beating down. Let's see how many tactics we have in our hand here. All right, all of our tactics are in the deck still. My turn. They're going to do something. End of the turn? Interesting. Hello. That's the first time I've ever seen that spell cast. As long as it's your turn. Well, let's hope they don't have another one in their hand. That'd be annoying. And they don't. Okay. So let's go Marshal, I guess. It's going to speed the killing up quite a bit. I don't know what my opponent's doing. Are they just... Is it like a stop the turn mill win stuff here? Getting rid of that Uro was definitely good. Okay. Definitely a mill deck, that's for sure. We are super lucky they only had one crab out. Only drawing 0 removal spells put us pretty susceptible. I almost said susceptible. That's not a word. Susceptible. All right, that's it. Their hand is empty. I'll take a sip of that. I think we won. I think we got there. What is that little thing? Is that an emote? I don't think I've seen that before. Well, I'm pretty sure... Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure we got this. All right, so we beat the weird Simic Landfall Mill Stop Your Turn nonsense deck. All right, all right. So we've beat all of the not Tier 1 decks. So all the weird lower tier decks, we're slightly above those. Gruul being, I would say, tier 1, tier 1.5 at the lowest. I mean, Gruul is always going to be, especially in Historic with Burning Tree Emissary and just the sheer speed and power that that deck can have early on. I think until the format really, really grows and that type of gameplay doesn't work, it's going to be pretty high up there. And this looks good. I mean, we've got the colors we need. The 3 curve here, we're going to keep it. Better than our last on the draw thing. Okay, Steam Vents. Could mean a whole slew of things. We could be up against some kind of teamer nonsense deck. Let me think here. Omnath is banned in Historic, if I remember correctly. So we don't have to worry about that necessarily. They could be playing Song of Creation. Okay. Don't love seeing Lucky Clover. Tithe Taker will at least be good against Petty Theft. Is that the name of the spell side of whatever that card's called? They'll have to do that now. Okay, Bone Crusher Giant. That's annoying. It's crazy that card was legal in Standard for a while, and it wasn't even played until rotation. That is so silly. That card is so busted. All right, well, I guess I'm just going to keep drawing cards while I can, because we're going to have to keep up with all their stupid, stupid adventures. I guess I want to back up Thalia, because they're going to kill the Thalia. At least the Bugler's safe from the Bone Crusher Giant. We have no way to get rid of this in our deck. We are at a huge disadvantage to artifacts. We're playing white, so I mean, once I fill this deck out, have a sideboard, all that good stuff, we're going to be fine against decks like this. But for the time being, yeah, I'll attack for 1, I guess. Yep. Whamp, whamp, whamp. So we really want a Lord. That's what we want. Yep. Whatever, just ramp it up. And these come in untapped. Like, come on. So they could Petty Theft now, bounce all my... I almost said shit. I'm trying not to swear. I'm trying to sound like a sophisticated adult. Let's block. I guess they can't Petty Theft because Thalia just affects the overall cost. Good thing we got a backup. So let's start by Thoughtseizing. Don't want to pay 2 for that. All right, I guess I want to get rid of Brazen Borrower. Play Thalia. Slap down Shefet Dunes. Attack for 1. Ugh, things are not looking up. They're going to be able to search for 2 cards here. It's a very expensive spell, but they do it twice. And when we're not drawing Lords, we are not going fast enough. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, Thalia making my Agadeem's Awakening worse. Blazing Volley's pretty good against us. We don't have a Lord in the graveyard, do we? Gross. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's go. Bodyguard, Thalia, Militia Bugler. All right. Agadeem's Awakening, definitely good in our deck. We'll take a Freebooter. Would be pretty nice if we could have casted this a little sooner. Although, we can see what my opponent has in their hand for now. It's an expensive Escape to the Wilds, but I don't think my opponent cares. It's a lot of lands they just drew. Gross. All right. I guess I could try to get their Innkeeper online, just start drawing a ton of cards. Let's see. Yeah. Make a couple of blockers. Seems good. Ugh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope, can't cast that yet. All right, well, let's get that out of here. And we'll just attack. Thalia doesn't have to worry about anything. Neither does Bugler. My bodyguard dies, but what are you going to do? And we're going to end the turn. So they're at 11. They have so much gas. So much gas. This is literally a deck that was legal in Standard like 3 weeks ago. Other than Hinterland Harbor. But still, come on. Yeah, that's dead. Yep, that's dead. Ugh. Lucky Clover, you cruel, cruel mistress. So I'm pretty sure we're going to lose this game, but we've been putting up a pretty good fight, considering. I mean, that Agadeem's Awakening felt pretty good. Maybe we want a couple more of these in the deck instead of just one. Maybe it's actually the superior one over Emeria's Call. I was thinking Emeria's Call would come up more, but I don't think it's going to. I think just the fact that you can cast Agadeem's Awakening for as low as 4 mana is really what you want to do there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I guess we just play this. He's indestructible. Let's get weird with it. Let's attack. Let's flex. So if they can't kill... Oh, they have a blocker. I was going to say they have Fey Wishes. I was like, there is a world where I draw like Icon of Ancestry and say Angel, and they don't have a blocker where I could win. But I don't think that's going to happen. Grotesque is what my opponent's turn looks like. God, Lucky Clover is so busted. Like, I played my fair share of adventure decks in the day, and it always felt good. I mean, I played a lot of Golgari adventures just because my preference in gameplay and stuff really is, that's what I like doing, playing Murderous Riders and pinging stuff. Played my fair share of Lovestruck Beasts and Innkeepers. Oh, yeah, that would just completely get rid of the Angels. That would do it. Okay, well, there is literally no way we are going to beat them. But, again, we put up a fight. So we lost to Gruul, but that was a bad keep. And we just lost. And we lost to Teamer Adventures. But both games weren't just complete embarrassments. So I think there's definitely something to this deck. Like, we could get a really good sideboard together if we had artifact stuff. What other... There's so many good white and black sideboard cards that I wouldn't be too worried about it if I was playing that. Opponent goes first. We got a decent hand here. I'll keep this. Bring ourselves to 16. All right, we're playing... All right, up against the Sacrifice deck. Let's not hurt ourselves too bad yet. All right, well, my opponent kept a very bold hand. I appreciate it. It's a lot of cats. It's a lot of cats. If they don't have a Witch's Oven, that's fine with me. Let's play Thalia here. At least now if they do have an oven, it's going to be an expensive oven. It could be like a Wolf. That's the oven brand that all the chefs have, right? I believe mine is a GE. Everybody knows what GE is. It's got an electric cooktop, though. I don't have gas. As somebody who likes to cook, you know, I like a gas stove. Okay. That's a bold attack there, friend. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go Bugler. Scoop up another Bugler. Attack with Thalia. Next turn, we get Tithe Taker and Bodyguard. Could have potentially done that this turn, too. Protected Thalia. Although, I mean, yes, this deck does play its fair share of non-creature spells. The bulk of the stuff I'm worried about is creature spells. But they're not playing anything, so it's an expensive dire tactics. So let's start by Tithe Takering, bodyguarding my Thalia, and attacking. Gotta love the first strike. Gotta love it. Oh yeah, you read first strike. You read it. Okay, that doesn't change anything. So what we really want here is a general that we can start eating up these little kitties with. I can't believe they kept a hand with just 3 cats. Like, yes, Cauldron Familiar is super good in this deck. But you kind of want the oven. You kind of want something to do with the cat. All right, so I think I'm just going to kill the Woe Strider. Feels good. They won't be able to escape it, even though their graveyard is literally just cats, so they don't really want to escape that there. That's fine. Scry. I'm going to attack for a lot now. I'm going to get in for 8. I feel like if my opponent kept a good hand, my deck is not good against this deck. If they had a single Mayhem Devil and a single Sacrifice Outlet, they would just decimate my board. Like, it is all X1s. Until I start playing a Lord, I'm just wrecked. Wrecked by Mayhem Devil. Yeah, let's pass that turn. My turn. Not playing Gigantha? Okay. Well, let's play this boy. Make our Thalia indestructible. And let's play Dauntless Bodyguard, protecting the General's Enforcer. And then let's attack with everybody? They've got to have some removal spell, right? Okay, Coco. Whiff. Oh my god! Wow, that was so unlucky. I'm sorry, opponent. I'm sorry. That sucked. Wow. All right, one more game. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty okay with this deck. Wow, that was unlucky. All right, my self-inflicted last game of my series here. And yeah, we're going to keep this. That's another nice little curve. Swamp into Chapel. Thoughtseize into Enforcer. Oh, we're playing Elves. This could be interesting. Let's try to get a Lord out of their hand. Coco is definitely the biggest problem there. I got a 2-mana Lord, but I got a 2/3. That blocks 2/2s. And if they don't have a land there, they have no ramp. And if you've ever played Elves and you don't have a ramp, you know that it can be kind of underwhelming and slow. Okay, so they've got the other Lord. So they can attack in with the Shepherd safely. I don't think they're going to attack in with their 2/2 Clan Caller. So we really just want our removal spells, I guess. Okay, that's a big boy. So let's Bugler. No sense in freebooting here. That's not going to accomplish anything good. Get a Bodyguard. And we'll hold back. So we can't even block Steel Leaf Champion. So that was actually a very good call on my opponent's part. That is a very quick clock. Okay, we really, really need to draw our removal spells here. Please, 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 God. Okay. Let's go Bugler again. Another Bodyguard. We'll play Bodyguard on the Enforcer, I guess, and pass the turn. Ooh, this isn't good. Gross. Okay, well, that's a 1-turn clock for my opponent. That escalated quickly. Yeah, so we can't block this, but we can do this. No. Double block. 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 I can sacrifice my bodyguard and keep the enforcer alive, so at least it's something. Oh, that does not do it. All right, friend, you got us. You got us with the mono can't block Steel Leaf Champion deck. Yeah, okay. That'll do it. That's one way to beat humans. Kill us with Steel Leaf Champion. Okay, so to wrap up, I guess the deck felt pretty good. I think a deck like this is probably better suited for best of 3 versus best of 1. Just because against something like Gruul, we'd be able to bring in more removal. We'd be able to bring in stuff that gains us life potentially, especially removal. I mean, we're literally running 3 removal spells in this deck, so we definitely want that. Against things like Jund Sacrifice, we could bring in stuff to kind of protect our team against Mayhem Devil, exile effects, more graveyard hate. Although our deck does have a decent amount of graveyard hate with general team here. Against that last deck, against elves, again, I'd probably just bring in more removal and stuff like that. But the core of this deck felt good. Thalia felt very good in the historic metagame. Kitesail Freebooter felt good. General felt good. Bugler felt good. I think there's a good shell here. Agadeem's Awakening felt really good in this deck, so I think I might go up on the Awakenings. I could even just go down on some of the lands, like go down an Isolated Chapel, go up an Agadeem's Awakening. We could even go down some plane. Like, there's a lot of tweaking that can be done here, but I feel like the overall core of Orzhov Humans is going to be a very good deck. So I started kind of building a sideboard. Why is the Elder Spell in here? Take that out of here. So like some basic sideboard things I threw in there. So Apostle Purifying Light, obviously against Mono Black and stuff like that. It's very good. Also very good against Mayhem Devil. It can't be pinged. Containment Priest is really good against Collect the Company decks. It's amazing against like the Upsell Spells decks that are in Pioneer and Modern now. Also against Phoenix. Containment Priest is very good, but you don't want to main deck it. It's definitely a sideboard card. So in Tomic, against like Nissa and some other random stuff, it's okay. Again, I just threw some crap into the sideboard. I haven't finished yet, but this is a deck. I really like this type of gameplay. My favorite decks of all time are various Death and Taxes style decks. I loved Orzhov Eldrazi in Modern, and this has kind of, I mean, we don't have the Eldrazi, but I like Orzhov. It feels good, especially like an Orzhov Weenies Death and Taxes type deck. Tithe Taker felt good. Like this core Dire Tactics, it all feels good. Just needs a little bit of tweaking. And I think that's probably going to be my next project. So thank you for watching. If you have ideas of what I can add to this deck, obviously I can make it Esper and add a lot of stuff, but I really want to keep it a nice tight 2 colors. And I think that's probably where I want to be. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for a follow-up to this. I'm going to make this best of 3. I'm going to add a little bit of tweaks to it, and we're going to see how it goes. Thanks.